I wonder if I can make an entire stream just me meowing. 3 hours of me meowing. I mean, I don't meow every second of every day, you know? Can we get a meow train going? You're a very interesting person. Thank you. My mom said I'm special. I'm sorry. By the way, I didn't charge my iPad, so it's gonna be very interesting today. I'm gonna be so completely honest. Scuffed stream! Hell yeah! Yippee! Scuffed stream incoming! Yippee! Yippee fucking yay! I'm gay! Women. Oh my god, women. Women are so cool. I like women. Oh, no, wait. There you go. I think we'll break from doing hard mode by doing something much easier. 1.7. Oh, nice. What's your PB so far? Also, I'm just gonna be giving us actual like content because I am not a content creator. I'd never be a content creator. What's a content creator, bro? One hit? That is so cool! GG! Good luck to the person in YouTube chat. Hell yeah! Thank you, person in TikTok chat. Oh, it's so warm. It was like very nice this morning, but now it's so warm. It is so. Anyways, Enzo, you wanna do the FNAFing? Yes, FNAFing. What the fuck, man? My back hurts so much. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Get some pillows. And get some rest, my dude. Why not the flowers? My eyes hurt. Oh, take a break. Get some eat. Do eepy. Do the epening. Don't know what that is. Oh, that's that. Okay. I just woke up. Oh. Yeah, that might make sense, yeah. I'm gonna go and get an energy drink. You hang out with Chad. Meow. 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 My brother, my Nintendo Switch is my pillow, and I felt like bricks slamming against my head. Why did you fucking have? Why did you? What? You sleep on your Nintendo. I don't think that's good for you or the Nintendo, bro. Okay. Bum bum bum. The like. Bow 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 bow. Body people up. Bow.
So Chad, I'm just eating ice cream because it's so warm. It's really warm. No! I had a really big pretzel. Yo, pretzels are good, bro. I see you jamming with your cursor. Okay, let me set up my iPod. I'm gonna move my this. I'm gonna move this. Oh my god. Ah, my iPad is being a bitch again. Why are you not charging, bro? Yeah, that's true. No! Wait, I actually wait. Emma, how's it going? It's going.
Sorry, I'm having issues with my fucking Discord, bro. Because I have to log into my alt. Punch him! There you go. I got my login for my alt account. There you go. My alt account is back. Yippee! That's the best way you can do it, though. That's the thing. Is this where you wanna be? Just don't get it. No! No, you were so close, though! You were so close! No! No! Yo, holy fuck, that was so close, though! That was so close! You did so fucking great, though! Holy shit! Uh-huh. It's funny. Okay, I need to do cleanup. Shit, I did too. Can my fucking pencil work for like 5 seconds, please? I got my Apple Pencil recently, but it doesn't work. I think with Apple Pencil, you need to charge it up. So you need to like, for me, for example, I need to connect it to my iPad. So I need to connect it through the Bluetooth, which is like, you need to connect it through Bluetooth and stuff like that, so... Wait, is this how you... Why is that just her? If it doesn't charge, I've been working... See if it's connected to your, connected to your device. They work through Bluetooth. See if it's connected to your device. That's one of the main issues I have, is that it disconnects because it's low power. That generation plan. I don't know the differences between those. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could help you out more. I'm not really an Apple Pencil person. I'm really good at it. This is my kind of thing. To be honest, I'm going to Apple Store to fix it. That's fair. Look at all. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a while since I've done animation, so it's not gonna be super great. Um, he likes you. Oh, hi Bernard. He just likes you. That's why. I wanted to seem like he's wagging his tail a lot. Waggy, 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 waggy. Oh, probably one of the Easter eggs. Might make a in-between frame that's a little bit better, to be honest. It's like opacity. Just like wagging their tail a lot because they're like happy. Ooh, I like that. I think that looks better. I don't know. Having Enzo's gameplay in the corner is kind of like Subway Surfers. Yeah, it is, yeah. Enzo's just Subway Surfers, but better. I got my mate that's another frame, to be honest, just make it. To do this. Like, make it look. How does this look on 4 frames? I might make it a bit faster. Like this. Eh. I like the tail, but I don't like how the hair looks. No. Pardon me. Enzo's Subway Surfer, but better. Mm. Kind of like how the color looks. Da, 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 da. I might do this instead. I want to read all. I want to eat all the red sauce with chips, but I'm all out of chips. God damn, that's sadge. Sadge moment. Mm. That reminds me of the one meme where they're like, I'm going to kick ass and eat something, and I'm all out of something. Has anyone seen that meme, or am I like... Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about, right? I like the cue that he has when he's in the vent, but also, holy fuck, that cue is so confusing. I'm gonna be so real. No, you'll be okay, you'll be okay. No! No! Sarge! I made a kick ass and chew gum, and I'm all out of gum. Hell yeah. We love kicking ass. You fucking got this, bestie. That we only have Doom instead of a three trio. Thought that was amazing. Huh? Question mark? Meow. Why does it... Ha! What happened here? What happened here, bro? What happened? You're doing so great, bestie. There was 3 games Doom. There was 3 games Doom. And cause the other 2 games are not next to me, I'm not spelling because I will spell horrible. I'm so confused by you. I'm thinking of not being friends with one of my friends. Well, it's your choice if you want to. Like, friends grow apart. That's just like life and all. I can't find a comfortable position to sit in. Sadge. Okay. It is so much better than looking at the like other places for him. Oof. What's it ask me? Oh yeah, I can get that. think I'm gonna do this just downwards instead. Like this. Instead of this, just do that. Just like faster. They're wagging their tail. You okay? Okay. That's fair. That is a lot cuter. Aww. I love that. That's actually great. I don't know if I'll keep the watermark on my thing though. Okay, mini break so that my iPad can charge a bit. Because I forgot to fucking charge my iPad. Because I'm a dumbass. Okay, cool. Okay, so one thing that I did that I was doing and working on but was actually I'm gonna do this instead. Oh! Why is it completely black now? It's in transformation. There we go. There we go. One thing that I have actually been doing a lot, that I've been working on, is also a project for arcade lore, which have been in the works for a bit. What did I get notifications? Oh. That's a fucking bot. Yippee! We love bots. Yeah, but I don't know if people were very aware what has been happening on this. Oh, Crowder got 101 entries. Viewers. Nice. But the Journal of Goats is kind of like Cade lore that isn't in a chronological order. It's more picked out, and it's like I'll add small entries that have to do with different things that they go through. And one of the entries that I did recently was about was kind of transcoded in a sense because it's Kate exploring their how they look and feel. Because not only are they a voidling, but they are also trans. They fall under the non-binary category. And it's something that I've been enjoying writing a little bit about because it's an important part of me, you know. Being trans is an important part of me. And I also enjoy Cade's relationship to his wife, Rem. Because Rem is cis and she doesn't have that much experience with the LGBTQ community, but she's also very just accepting of anything because of how she is as a person. So I thought, like, why don't I show that in a sense of writing, which I'm good at. So yeah, that's gonna... I'm gonna work on that. Also, on the animation, the one thing, the music that I'm going to be using for the animation is Epic the Musical! Yay! Shocker! And it's this one. It's gonna make me feel so sad. I'm gonna see how little... Blushing. I'm gonna see how much I can show before I get suspended. This is gonna be a fun one. Love with you over and over again. No matter how where or when, no matter how long it's been, you're mine. Tell me you're not the same person. It's okay. Let's see if I will get suspended for this or not. It's gonna be that, like the waiting again and again and again. It's gonna be more about patchwork, having the abandonment issues, because they feel so tied to Cade instead of being their own person. It's that last part. It's like that through it. I thought about including Cade in it, but I don't know if I will or not. Because I don't want Cade to be seen in a bad light compared in regards to patchwork. Because Cade isn't a bad person. They just don't know how to make, like, they're the creator of patchwork, but they don't really know how to connect with anyone. So I thought this would be an interesting one. Let's see, am I suspended or not? How long would it take? Nope, we are still going. Hell yeah. Wait, Quint's live?
That's 9. That's 10. 10 attacks in.
Okay. I'm gonna be about 5 more minutes and then I'll do my runs of this.
This is attack 11.
Good, I actually kind of see why you like this. This is actually, it's actually fun.
I know. I'm sub to them. You should, yeah, sub to them if you haven't already, because they're awesome. He's very nice. He's a very nice person. I'm part of this! Yay! I'm so great at this. But yeah, it's mostly just gonna be the epic musical. This song here, tying it in a different light. I thought about making a background, by the way, but I have no fucking clue what to make the background. Is there anyone who has any ideas? Because I'm fucking completely gone when it comes to backgrounds. I'm so worried when it comes to backgrounds, bro. I'm so bad at backgrounds. But I don't know if Patch 4 should just sit in the void. Hi, Onaid. Hi, Pika. I don't know. Not charging? The fuck you mean not charging, you dickhead? The fuck you mean not charging? The fuck you mean not charging? You see that wedding band over, lifted high on your shoulder. Can you draw my OC? Not really. I don't really do requests because I never feel like I do great. I do it good enough. Can my iPad charge? Oh my fucking god. There you go. I saw the drawing title. So I joined. Yo, nice. It's not gonna be a great way to show it right now because my iPad isn't having a good time right now. That's scene 1. He's a hat guy. True. I love how Chica just ends up being like the pyromaniac. Claire's just like the Claire's so me though. Why is Claire kind of me? No. No, I don't wanna. And those who control, huh? And those who control their anger and pardon others, and Allah loves the good doers. Quran. Okay. I'm gonna do that at 3 frames instead. Da, 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 da. Are you drama playing a game? No, I'm not. My friend is playing a game. I have ADHD, so I need something to keep me, like sensory, I guess, in a sense. My friend is playing the game. I think I'll do this in 3 frames. Yeah, that looks way better. 3. Holy I'm so proud of you. I'm so fucking proud of you. I am so fucking proud of you. Holy shit. GG! Can I get some GGs in chat? Oh my god. So proud of you, bestie. Welcome in, MFM. That looked like it was hellish. How do you feel? How do you feel? That's very fair. That's very fair. How do you feel? Your first FNAF game you beat. Agreed. I changed my name. Oh, hi, HHS. HHS set. Sorry. There's so much lore. Lore. We need the lore. Are you gonna try any of the max modes? Oh my god, go for it, 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 go for it. Awesome. Do you know how it works? He does! It does, yeah. Cause it's in canon it's like the guard that you played on night 5 dies, becomes Springtrap, and then you're a new guard. That's why. Just got here. What are you doing? I'm doing animation. Enzo is giving me sensory. And Clara is burning down the kitchen. Holy fuck, bitch. Holy shit. Clara, calm your tits. Oh, it's thundering. It's fucking thundering, chat. Oh no. Mhm. Ja?
Må ta klærne inn, det kommer til å starte å regne.
Klærne mine, de er ikke ute.
Jo, det er ute. Fra vinduet ditt.
Helvete, altså. Okay, so my mom put my clothes outside and it's about to rain, so I have to go outside and speedrun. You have fun with chat. Chat, watch him, okay? I need to fucking get my clothes. Why is chat fucking messing up? Why is chat messaging fish? What? You guys confuse me. I love fish. It's my OC, but bored. We're being babysat. Yeah, she is. Well, okay, yeah, if you guys wanna message fish. I had to run, sorry. He has to be like my favorite character. I'm gonna be so for real. Like the father is so cute. He's so cute. I love him. I thought about making fan art, honestly. Like I might change the stream back. Yeah, yeah. I was just outside of my fam. Holy fuck. Chill. No, he doesn't approve of it. And my fam doesn't really like. My fam doesn't really like FNAF anyways. Bernard, 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 Bernard! No shit, bro! And then one typing fish. So we have a gameplay this side, not an entry. Yeah, that's true. His nose squishes up. I love it. Oh, it's raining. It is raining, man. Hallelujah. It's raining, man. Well, it's not running here, so I guess you have to do. It has to run somewhere else. Is that a Delta reference? I think that'll be fine. 3 FPS anyways, so it's gonna be slow. Yeah, he is. There's a fly in my room. Can you fuck off? Jesus. Spriting and I do everything on the same layer. I've done that so many fucking times. I have done that so many fucking times. I think I'm gonna delay this and do like this instead, to be honest. Oh, please don't make me hit the limit. Thank you. I love to talk about do everything physical, but also something I mess it up when I'm using a marker. Oh my god, using a marker is a bold move. That is a fucking bold move. I could never. I would be way too anxious. I get anxious with digital. I get that. I get that. I just find it better. To have more control. Honestly, I can spread what I'm working on is because it's very, I'd say, mathematical. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Uh, 3 plus 2. Pixel art you can maintain code. I've always wanted to do pixel art, to be honest. Because it looks fun. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I want to tilt the head up kind of a bit. No. It took me 20 days because I was stressing over messing up. Oh my god, I've been there. I have been there so much. I have fucking been there. Just what I do often, so when I get back to get used to stuff, I get more critical of what I make. Yeah, I'm the exact same. I'm extremely critical over what I do. Like, you can ask Enzo. I'm extremely critical. I guess like that with code. Yeah, because like code is scary because one wrong thing and like it will not work. It's not 6, my dude. Okay, I think I fixed that. Oh. That's FNAF. Yeah. Time to make it into show. That's so cool. Annoyed picker. Can you fuck off, Fly? Holy shit! Go back outside. Why are you in here? Awesome. I'm going to murder someone. Can it be the manager voice actor? Yeah, sure. I'm down to the voice acting. Did I hear Mike as in Deltron? When it's ultimate egg gets crunch and all the bugs go back to hell where they belong. I wanna lift up their shoulders. Cook the pizza. Yeah. Like name that I forgot that it's Persian. I have so many characters as well. I have like Patchwork, Sifrin, which is a small character, Crowley, Sin, Cade, Fish. I like that a bit. I like this a lot more. I gotta go. Okay, take care. Have a good day. Really? Hi, Cal. It's been a while. Yeah, it has. Damn. We're doing good. I'm animating, and my friend is giving me sensory. Cook the pizza. Friend is a Russian girl. Shouldn't we get someone who knows Russian accents then? Question mark. Ace Ash Shadow, then a persona, then a customer for now. Hi, relatable houseplants. Cook the pizza. Protect. I think I'm gonna do export this. I need to turn off the frame though. This is 3 frames. So this will be shared 3 frames. There you go. Bam 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 bam. Don't you just love it when they bum bum bum? This was also 3 frames, I believe. I believe this is 3 frames as well. I know how to animate a bit. Yo, nice. Animation can be fun, but it can also be so fucking painful, bro. At least for the process I do. Penelope, I would fall in love with you over and over again, no matter what or when. Don't never mind. Don't tell me you're not the same person. You're always my husband, and I've been waiting, waiting. I kind of like the 4 frames. Your voice is so pretty. Thank you, I guess. I'm in Ibis Pen, which number should I use? I'm in Ibis Pen, which number should I use for animating? I would like say if you're focusing on a lot of motion, go higher, like 7 to 8ish. If you're focusing more on just like simple animation, I go from 4 to like 6ish. I will fall in love with you over and over again, no matter where or when. Might have been a mine. Don't tell me you're not the same person. You're always my husband, and I've been. I'm gonna charge my iPad as I do the test. Oh my god. But it depends. Like low frame animation is what I enjoy more because it's easier. How do you draw hands? Go to practice. A lot of practice. You do. You're doing great, Buster. You got the skill issue. I need to test that this even works, question mark. Over and over again, no matter what or when. Fuck off, fly. It's gonna be like this. Outfit inspo? I don't know. I'll turn on this, and if we get suspended, I'm so sorry. I don't want to do this.
I love a little sleepy bunny.
I know, so adorable.
Pizza. Yeah, that.
fucking loud, bro. It hurts my ears.
Pizza, oh my god. Pizza, okay.
I could like clip her here.
Pizza. Yeah.
Flip it like this instead. I do this.
Stage. You moved it.
Damn it. And then do this. Because it's a really good build up, but it doesn't really. I don't know if it really would work. Like this? Question mark? What if I make them fade in like this, like a low transition? Or I could do this.
Okay, I need to take another break because I got food. Why is this game actually so fun? I kind of hate that. I actually enjoy the funny game.
Good. We'll have the intro card here, and then we'll have this. Oh, that's okay. That's sad. I can stream Orange Soul, Asgore, No Head if Enzo needs a break. I didn't know you were into No Heads. Because it'd be like zooming inwards. I'll put up the white background in the back. It'll be a white background. Okay. $111 and 121. That's fucked, but I love it. But why does it like move downwards? I like how my friends are just like giving me censor shit on Discord as I'm doing this. I will fall in love with you over and over again. What is it? The camera, bro. That is position 7th, 6th. This instead.
I would give you sensory right now, but I'm eating and my food is good.
It's okay. It's okay. MFM is doing that job at the moment.
Fair.
I'm thinking of adding like a scene of just Cade like slowly like going out of frame or anything like that to give like context between the two. I don't know, because this is title. Because I could also do this. Seven, 3. Flower question mark? Flowey? Question mark? No! Flowey! Should I? Yeah! Flowey content! Hell yeah! Emperor, it's your kind of content.
No way.
Am I allowed to share that? Am I allowed?
That is such a scuffed way of dodging those shit. Okay. I love it. That is so scuffed, it falls back to actually amazing.
I wonder. I want to check if I have an old animation of Kate I can repurpose.
The hammer. What?
Why did my brain say Asriel when that begun playing? How fucking... Start with oh, the sound is fucked. What the fuck is it? Okay, chat, look at what I found. I'm gonna share this. Look at what I found was browsing for shit to make work.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'm gonna stop watching this so it works out. Okay. What was I cooking?
What the fr- I like that.
What was I fucking cooking? I
That
don't
is
know
a
if I
good
was
question.
cooking. I do not know if I was cooking or not. I'm gonna be completely honest.
What?
I do not know if I was cooking.
What does the text say?
Wounds? Something something.
Lovely.
Oh, it's an animation. It's a fucking animation.
Aww.
It's that old animation about like wounds and stuff that I made. I could repurpose this, question mark. Like them feeling left out. Because it'll be like low opacity. Oh hi! There's pigeons. Hi there. Yeah, sorry, ADHD. Holy fuck, bro. Fighting for love. I don't know. What do I like do for that? Do at least. Epic the musical.
Alright, my brother.
Would you fall in love with me again? Would you fall in love? Just as fuck. Remember, we have Kate here. Yeah?
sette de klærne dine, og så velge hva du skal ha.
Kan jeg gjøre det senere? Jeg holder på å streame.
Avslutt.
Yeah, sure, that works. Most cursed fucking just something. This works, yeah. Away from what I'm just or if I deep down out. I'm not sure if I will do the scrapped or if I'll just make a PNG of Kate or not. I'm not sure, to be honest. Oh my god, the fucking fly, bro. Back off. You're so annoying. They're rusty. That's okay. Nice. Yipper. This fly is gonna give me anger issues. I swear. Hate animation decks. Okay. I'm gonna quickly do something my dad asked me to do, so you guys will get content. Right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it's yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why is MFM doing fucking Azrael? So true. I guess that kind of works, but it's still like kind of awkward how I have to transition between the two. I don't know. Hi, Monaco. What's the score? Hope the stream hasn't been a bore. Animation is a delight. Hope you're having a good night. Thank you. I wonder how much can I push it? Any? Yeah, I can push it. Where is this? This is 66. Was that betray kill? Don't worry, he's just homophobic. That's a joke. Hi again. Hi, hi. Hi, 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 hi. Ugh. I'm gonna go back to modding. Alright, have a good day. Take care. And I can see I still have the data when it auto fight. Sure, go ahead. I wonder, can I just make this white? That's a weird fucking comment. Don't say that. Let's run gambling. Okay. Want the finale is more exciting, yeah, it is, yeah. We're gonna do the lessons. How do I enter? Why is this saying I'm not live? That's weird. Ugh. Okay, let me do something real quick then. If that doesn't work. Free up space. Okay. Wow. Oh, for fuck's sake. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, no, 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 no. Hell fucking. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. Ah, fucking hell. No, 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 no. Oh, fuck, man. Okay, let's react to this.
Games. The legend of the Deltarune is a lie.
Can
Many of the
you
characters
frame
we've
it? I'm a
fallen in.
little curious. I haven't actually seen it.
Oh. Fuck, man.
A portion of today's episode is sponsored by WB Games. The legend of the Deltarune is a lie. Many of the characters we've fallen in love with actually play very different roles than we originally thought. And now it's time to reveal the truth. The truth about our heroes, their greatest enemy, and the legend of the Deltarune itself. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that promises to give the new Pope Leo a copy of Deltarune if given the chance. But if I'm bringing up that dead meme, that can only mean one thing. Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 have finally arrived, and I have been dying to get stuck into these new installments of the story, have some questions answered from previous chapters, and as always, try to solve the new questions these chapters present. And there is a lot to discuss, my friends. We're going to be uncovering the true identities of some familiar characters and what their roles are within Deltarune, learning that the things we thought to be set in stone may not actually be true anymore. Seems to be a running theme on this channel recently. And of course, figuring out what it all means for the future of this franchise. So, gulp down that juice, theorists. It's time to open up a dark fountain and dive back into the world of Deltarune.
Okay, who here wants to bet that they're gonna misgender Chris?
Oh, totally.
They will totally do that. And also they will probably bring up the theory that either Carol or Noelle is the knight. I feel that that's gonna be the thing. I'm so disappointed with Game Theory for doubling down on it after Toby made it clear that he didn't want them to associate their games anymore. This feels like a slap in the face, but I am willing to hear them out. It can't be worse than the FNAF franchise. Haha.
Lee, what are you doing here? Are you here to help me take on the lore of Deltarune?
What? No, don't be ridiculous. I'm here because today's sponsor needs us to save the DC universe.
Now who's being
Like blue beam DC characters.
There's lore? Ugh, now I've got to find
Okay,
to figure out Deltarune, so bye!
That is the night.
It's been almost 4 years since Chapter 2 was released, and over a year since our last video on it. So before we get too deep into this dark world, let me give you a quick recap. Deltarune is the spiritual successor to the wildly popular indie RPG Undertale, a game where every small decision you made, from defeating enemies to how you spoke to characters, completely altered the outcome of the game. Deltarune, however, works a little bit differently. There aren't multiple paths you can take that lead to different endings. Characters aren't killed, but instead the battles end after a certain amount of damage is made and you spare them. The whole theme of this game is that your choices don't matter. Over the last 2 chapters, we met Chris, a quiet individual who explores places called the Dark Worlds with former bully Susie. During these adventures, they meet Rolze, a creature from the Dark World who wants Chris to fulfill the legend of the Deltarune. This prophecy was that 3 heroes, a human, a monster, and a prince from the dark, would seal the dark fountains and banish the angels' heaven. Again, highlighting the idea that their destinies are set. They cannot be
Yeah, the
changed.
prophecy,
And
yeah.
even if you try to force a change, like you can in Chapter 2, where you do a genocide-like run, making your friendly neighbor Noelle freeze enemies to death, it still doesn't change the outcome. It only affects how you got there and how Noelle behaves. Not exactly what people were expecting when the game first came out, but something you can do to affect the outcome of this channel is hitting that
Shut the
subscribe button.
fuck
We're
up.
actually on our way to hitting 2.
Shut
But if you
the fuck up. Cool.
Oh, wow, you actually did it. I'd better get to planning then. But in the meantime, let's chat about Chapter 3, because we are met with a similar linear path to the previous chapters. In Chapter 3, we travel through the Dark World opened by Chris at the end of Chapter 2, where we take on Tenna, the TV set that has been forgotten. Tenna has Chris's mother Toriel imprisoned under the instruction of the Knight. This is a character we have been waiting to hear more about from the first few chapters. They are a big part of the legend of the Deltarune, being the one who is trying to bring around the Roaring, an apocalyptic event that will doom everyone. And by the end of Chapter 3, the Knight shows themselves, defeating our heroes and fleeing to a bunker in town with poor Undyne in tow. Chris and Susie discover that there is a code into this bunker, but they believe they have to get it from the mayor, Noelle's mother. This is where Chapter 4 kicks off. Susie and Chris invite themselves over to Noelle's to snoop. After finding part of the code, a new dark fountain is formed at the church nearby. Susie and Chris enter and begin to learn about the prophecy of the Deltarune. Once again, Chris seals the dark fountain after going up against the Roaring Knight and the Titan that they summon, a sign of the Roaring that is to come. And you know what? Let's talk about the Roaring Knight for a minute. For a long time, their identity has been a mystery hanging
But now I know who the Knight is. Trust me, bro.
over this community. Could it be Father Alvin? He
I
seemed
remember that
mighty
theory, yeah.
suspicious. Was it really Chris because they opened a dark fountain at the end of Chapter 2? Well, finally, we've gotten to see the Roaring Knight in the flesh, or darkness, and it's clearly not Chris. Would be pretty tricky to fight against yourself. But then, who is it? Well, the first major clue we get is that the Knight isn't like other darkness. Rolse has made it clear over various chapters that darkness cannot leave the dark world because they aren't really real like Chris and Susie are. They just exist as playing cards, toys, objects that take on new meaning in the shadows. But after you defeat, or more likely lose, to the Roaring Knight, he runs away to the world of light and is able to exist inside the bunker, implying that this knight isn't a darkener, but a lightener like Chris and Susie that is able to exist in both worlds. And with this being a lightener, we should also be able to take a look at their physical appearance to narrow it down more. Chris and Susie still look like themselves in the dark world, so it's likely there will be some similarities between the knight and their lightener form. Starting with the head. It's clear that this
I'm calling it. He's gonna go for Carol or Des.
Roaring Knight has antlers. Other than making him look pretty cool, this connects the Roaring Knight specifically to Noelle and her family, the Holidays, a family of reindeer. Immediately, my mind went to Carol, Noelle's mother. She seemed pretty evil so far, with her red text talking directly to the player and her neglectful treatment of Noelle. She even has a katana on the wall, which would fit the knight's sword. But when I looked more closely at the knight's sword, something else caught my attention. When they hold it upright, we can see that the bottom has a flat edge. If this were a katana or any other traditional sword, that flat part in the pixel art would be higher up to act as a guard for the hand. But this one is at the bottom. Plus, if you take a look at the top of the sword, it's more rounded than it is pointy. The pose almost reminds me of when I was a kid and how I tried to balance a baseball bat in my hand. Wait, in previous chapters, Noelle recalls how her older sister Tess would hit Chris with a wiffle bat if they were light. And we know that taking items into the dark world transforms them, like our sword really just being a pencil. This is also the only member of the family we haven't met yet. We actually know very little about Des, other than her full name is December, keeping with the holiday theme. She is no longer around, and weirdly, that she's left-handed, based on her mouse being on the left side side of her computer. And wouldn't you know it, the knight also wields their sword in their left hand. But there's more than a wiffle bat sword that connects the Roaring Knight to Des. When trying to look for the code to the bunker, Chris enters Des's room and finds Des's guitar. That guitar has shown up once before during the Spamtum Sweepstakes ARG that happened a few years ago. Players found a web link called deltarune.com/Des. By going to that webpage and clicking on the guitar, it plays a song called findher.ogg. This musical motif is also present in the Roaring Knight's theme song.
I actually did not
The music
recall
in this
that.
game is exceptional. Toby Fox is a fantastic composer, and so to make a song with such a similar motif cannot be a mere coincidence.
Oh my god, that actually reminds me of topic. But I remember back when Undertale was just a thing and Deltarune had it like one chapter or something, and people kept going back to Deltarune and saying every motif in Undertale had the Gaster song. There's like an entire fucking video about it. Where it's like, oh yeah, every Undertale song has the Gaster motif.
Yeah, that I can believe.
Like, oh my fucking god. All possible songs with the Gaster theme. People talking so much about it and being like, the Gaster's there, Gaster's everywhere. I remember that. Sorry, I had to just make that up.
Especially when in Chapter 3, there is a slot machine where you can enter as many points as you like to get a prize. And if you choose to spend 1,225 points, a strange room appears. In this room is another machine that contains a piece of lacquer. Small, dark, and triangular, just like a guitar pick. And don't think I forgot about the number of points you entered to get to this secret room. 1225, as in December 25th, Christmas, a December holiday. And the cherry on top of all of this is that when Chris actually looks at this guitar in Chapter 4, what do they find? The code to the bunker. The code to the bunker that the Roaring Knight is hiding in is inside Des's guitar. Des is the Roaring.
Yeah, I
So
fucking
then
I
why is
call
she
that. I call
fighting
that.
us? Why is she trying to
call
bring
that.
about the roaring, letting darkness take over the light world and letting Titans rule? Well, it all comes down to the rest of the legend of the Deltarune. Or should I say, the real legend. In Chapter 4, when we enter the Dark World in the church, a church that believes in the legend of the Deltarune, by the way, we encounter glass panels that Ralsei reveals are the prophecy of the Deltarune. You'd think we already knew all of this. We were told most of it by Ralsei in Chapter 1, but it turns out there's a little more to the story, and something about it wasn't sitting right with me. In the later part of the prophecy, it says this: the first hero, the cage with human souls and parts.
That's
the
Chris.
second hero, the girl with hope crossed on her heart.
People think that this is Noelle instead of Susie because the sword. It's not like it's not the axe that she has, but it's a sword. So people think that this is Noelle, not Susie.
And the third hero, the prince alone in the deepest dark. And last was the girl. At last was the girl. When reading the prophecy, Susie comments on how the prince is Ralsei, the first hero is Chris, and the girl is her. That, however, didn't sit right with me because the image we have of the
Yeah, the
girl
sword, the clothing,
doesn't
and her hair, yeah.
look like Susie. The image of the first hero is the heart, which is us and Chris being the vessel. The image of the third hero is Ralsei in a robe. But the image of the second hero is carrying a sword and wearing what looks like a gown. Susie doesn't ever really carry a sword. She's known for her axe, and she definitely hasn't worn a gown. Plus, when Susie attempts to open the dark fountain later in the chapter, all the colors were wrong. Things aren't exactly the same as the real Dark World, because though Susie knows how to open a dark fountain, she isn't the real hero spoken of in the prophecy. Susie
I
is
do
simply
respect
believing
them
it must be
mentioning
her
this.
because Ralsei told her that she was the
Yeah.
second hero back in the first chapter. But if I'm saying that's wrong, that Susie isn't the second hero, then there's only really
Noelle.
one other character it can be. A girl that wears a gown, has been a member of the hero's party, and when you combine her ring of thorns that you get from her special root with a pure crystal, you get an item called the Twisted Sword. Guys, it's Noelle. Noelle has become a more significant character as the chapters have gone on, and by taking on the Snowgrave route in Chapter 2, where you force Noelle to cast magic and freeze people, Noelle is becoming more confident and is gaining the ability to to fight. In Chapter 4, you also encounter these priestly figures of the Deltarune, each of them telling you a tale connected to the prophecy, and one of them says, "Who will call the girl who snows?" which is referring to what we literally do during the Spamton Neo fight. We call on Noelle's name, and she is summoned, killing Spamton with her ice magic. In another part of the prophecy, it says, "Love finds its way to the girl." The image here is the same as the second hero, but it has a heart like ours inside it. On a more innocent level, this could be referring to Noelle's crush that she has on Susie, but given all the references to the Snowgrave route that we've already had, I believe there's a darker meaning behind this. In
Lesbian erasure. How could you? Let us have this, please.
Undertale, we were taught about the love stat. When we kill
He's not... No, he's not gonna connect the two again. Please.
enemies, our love increases. But the stat actually stands for level of violence. During the Snowgrave route, Noelle was pushed to become more violent, and the level of violence found its way to her. And this is made super clear in Chapter 4. If you've taken the Snowgrave route in Chapter 2, you will receive a unique cutscene in Chapter 4 when Chris and Susie are in Noelle's house. After trying to find the bunker code in the old guitar, Chris
There's too much Doom Diallo, so Toby's making Doom Diary.
pulls out the heart and stuffs it into a drawer. It's at this point that we start behaving real sus and vent. While moving around the vents, we can hear a conversation between Chris and Noelle. She says that last night she saw Chris, the real Chris, who told her that everything was all okay. Until our heart makes its way back into Chris and the entire conversation shifts as we prove to Noelle that the events of Chapter 2 weren't a dream like she thought. Chris then puts the thorn ring back onto Noelle's finger, and when we do, a red crack appears on the screen.
What? No, he's not saying that the Snowgrave is actually a part of the prophecy, does it? Okay.
This moment is us, the heart. We are the ones trying to control Noelle, forcing her to use her magic, helping her to find her level of violence. And as Chapter 4 continues, we see these actions take effect. In the Dark World, when Susie goes ahead, Rolsei suggests instead of us going on ahead, we think of someone. If we choose to think of Noelle, the screen turns black and a small red dot with the words "thank you" appears. Then at the very end of Chapter 4, the screen fades to black and once again, the red dot appears. But this time, it's bigger. The red dot is Noelle's heart forming, love finding its way to the girl, just as the prophecy said it would.
But the red heart is us. How would we... Huh? How would the red heart be manifesting if we are not... Huh? I don't understand that. Depends on one version. Toby made it clear that that version was what was actually supposed to happen. With the update, it was made clear that that was actually what was intentionally supposed to be happening. Symbolism, not literal. Oh, I'm just autistic, okay. I mean, we're wrapping the true version of the events have been an idea that's been going on for a bit from what I've seen. Yeah, true. I'm not gonna say that I don't like it or that I don't agree. I'm just trying to wrap my head around what he's talking about.
All of this is pointing to Noelle, and more specifically, the Snowgrave route being part of the prophecy. The Snowgrave route is the canon series of events. Even though it felt like it was a decision we were able to make, Toby Fox is once again showing us that it was destined to be. This is also why the Night Death is trying to bring about the Roaring. The Roaring is what will summon the heroes and force them to banish the angels' heaven, banish us. Just like Chris, they want us gone so that their sister is left alone and safe, which explains why we see both of those characters working together throughout the chapters. Chris receives some mysterious messages from their phone, which are implied to actually be the Knight. And if you manage to defeat the Knight at the end of Chapter 3, they will literally knight Chris. Chris wants us removed from their body, but they also clearly hate what we are doing to Noelle, putting us in a trash can and kicking the living daylights out of us after we put the thorn ring back on her finger. It's their goal to bring about the Roaring and force us, the angel, away from them and the lives of their friends. But then, where does all of that leave our monster girl Susie? Is she just gonna get sidelined? Not exactly. In Chapter 3, when you're allowed to play the 8-bit minigame, there is a secret ice palace you can travel to. On the door is the Deltarune symbol, but it's slightly different to what you might remember. It's pretty hard to see because, well, it's 8-bit, but the symbol actually has 4 triangles on it instead of the usual 3. Before now, we believed the 3 triangles represented Chris, Susie, and Rolsei, the 3 heroes. But now we're being shown 4 people are a part of this, and that's actually reflected in the prophecy too. It's just that Susie, and by association we, have been conflating 2 parts of it. The girl that Susie believes to be her is mentioned twice in the prophecy, once as the second hero and the second time at the end. At last was the girl. This is a list of characters. First the vessel, second the girl, third the prince, and then last is another girl. There are
people, I just want to add this in, there are people who believe that Susie wasn't supposed to survive past chapter 1, that she was supposed to be defeated. Which I do kind of see being a valid point, but I don't know.
2 separate girls in this prophecy. And if you look into the game files, the image used behind the final girl is labeled Rude Buster. Rude Buster is a move unique to Susie, so though she may not be named as one of the 3 heroes, she clearly has something important to do with the prophecy. And I think I know what that role is. You see,
Being
in
a
chapter
lesbian?
4, Rolsei confesses to Susie that he was intentionally keeping part of the prophecy a secret. Susie manages to get ahead and read it, but before we are able to read it, Susie smashes the glass and starts laughing. She says that she or Chris would never let that happen. Whatever is on that last panel was something that Rolsei was worried about Susie and Chris seeing, and clearly it has an effect on Susie. Throughout the chapters, Susie has always struggled to accept reality, constantly denying whatever is being said and wanting to forge her own path. But this time feels different. It's not an angry defiance. It's uncomfortable, like, haha, but that's not gonna happen, right? And then she quickly tries to change the subject. So what did it say? Well, the lines before this talk about a final tragedy unveiling, meaning that whatever the destroyed panel said is revealing that tragedy. The ultimate tragedy that I could think of, one that would definitely make Susie uncomfortable, would be the death of a beloved character. And I believe that character is Susie herself. I mean, at the very end of the chapter, she starts to tell Chris how she really feels, and it feels very finite, almost like it's her ending monologue, her coming to terms with the reality that is set before her, like she's going to die, and is letting Chris know how she really feels and how she doesn't want to move on. Rolsei is also acting sketchy throughout both of these new chapters. Not only are they hesitant whenever Susie brings up the prophecy, but Rolsei also makes a point to always talk to Chris about how nice Susie is. He even does it directly after Susie smashes the glass. And I always thought that was a little suspicious. Obviously, one of the reasons Rolsei is doing this is because they know what we know. Susie isn't one of the heroes. He jumped the gun when Susie arrived and made an assumption only to realize it wasn't correct, and that she is instead the second girl mentioned. But the real reason he's acting so strange, I suspect, is because Rolsei knows of Susie's fate, that she isn't long for this world, and so he's trying to make sure however long she has left is an enjoyable experience, rather than us ruining it by favoring Noelle over her. And actually, Noelle is a big reason why I think Susie has to die. Remember, this tragedy leads us to banishing the angels' heaven, which, as we spoke about in a previous theory, is the good ending here. We are the angel, and our actions are bad for these characters, as we've seen play out with Noelle. And actually, Noelle growing in her levels of violence leads me to believe that we, the players, are growing her powers in order that during the final battle, the angelic-looking Noelle will become the perfect vessel for us to use in order to control everything and everyone. But I also believe Susie, despite not being one of the main 3, is the one that's going to save Noelle, and in the end, the entire world. In chapter 4, Chris has a moment of playing the piano. Chris is actually great at playing the piano. We see it referenced time and time again throughout the game, but while we are in control of them, they suddenly suck because we cannot play piano. However, during chapter 4, Susie calls Chris by their name and tells them to play very sincerely, which leads to Chris, for a brief moment, gaining back control and playing without our inputs. Now, we know that Chris can rip out our heart and take back control of their body at any moment, but that is not what happens here, and that's why it's so special. Chris is able to gain back control while we are still inside of Chris. Chris. Susie's kind and authentic words had the ability to tear Chris away from our control. And I believe that Susie is going to be able to do the same thing for Noelle. However, Noelle is clearly far more powerful than Chris. That's the whole point of the Snowgrave route, making her stronger, which means it's going to take something much bigger to move Noelle. But we do know that Noelle has a massive crush on Susie, so seeing her die while under our control because of our control, I suspect that will be enough to pull Noelle back to reality, out of our control, so that the three heroes, Chris, Noelle, and Rolsei, can banish us for good. Now, the prophecy follows a classic AABBC rhyming scheme, and lines 1, 3, and 5 use 10 syllables, while lines 2 and 4 use 8. So while this next bit is purely conjecture, I'm going to put some money on the prophecy going a little something like this. And then, when all hope is lost for the tale, the final tragedy unveils. To save the world, there is only one way. The girl's death breaks the angel's sway. Only then will the worlds be saved. I'll admit, a lot of this is on the more speculative side, but what an awesome story arc it would be for Susie. The class bully turned into a selfless warrior, willing to do whatever it takes to save the world. Although it would also mean her losing one of the character traits that makes her so unique. Susie is constantly defiant, attacking when we don't tell her to, moving around without our inputs. But if she does sacrifice herself for the good of the world, then she's just like Chris, the Knight, Noelle, Rolsei, even us, who are just following a set path that Toby Fox has pre-planned. Then again, I suppose that's kind of been the point from the start, hasn't it? But hey, that...
I want to say I have massive respect for them for treating it like this, treating it nicely, not going out of the way to be like, oh yeah, Rasa is evil, oh yeah, the Knight is Carol, we're evil. He definitely toned it down compared to what he does for FNAF. And though I don't like that he's still touching Deltarune after Toby fucking made it clear he didn't want him, it is interesting. What do you think, Edsa?
I don't know, I haven't really followed Deltarune series much.
Neither. What do you think about them being a part of the Deltarune community again?
I don't really have any thoughts about that because I didn't really follow game theory, so I don't really know any of the what happened or anything like that. So can't comment. I don't.
Basically, from what I remember, when Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2 came out, they misgendered Chris constantly. They said that Deltarune was in the Undertale timeline, and clickbaited the fuck out of Deltarune, comparing it to Undertale, which Toby did not like, or did not feel comfortable with.
I thought the only thing that Toby actually said to Game Theory was calling them out for crediting some other game as being like an Undertale related game.
No, they also had the issue with them saying that Deltarune happens after Undertale or some shit. Like, when Toby wanted to clearly distinguish the two, Game Theory didn't at all.
Okay, did Toby say something about that? Because I don't remember hearing anything about that.
I don't remember exactly. But,
Because the only thing I've heard Toby having involvement with was getting upset at them for crediting some other game as, like, Undertale related.
there was shit that happened between the two, and of course, MapPat, or whoever the fuck, is gendering Chris in 2 videos that are still up. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, this series itself seems fine, if you ask me.
Yeah, it does not feel the same as the FNAF series and other series where they leap. And like, it feels like they're doing clickbait compared to it feels like a lot of the series are like made for the clickbait rather than actually trying to be creative. Like this. Mario World is going bankrupt. Like Gigalark, whatever the fuck that is. Talking about Afton, which is so clickbaity. It's just so much shit they do that just feels more clickbaity than actually the love for theorizing. And I never liked that. William Afton is Undertale's Gaster. Like the hidden truth of Afton. Wow. A theory that makes me wanna fall asleep. Everything you know about FNAF is a lie. Like that shit. That is infuriating. But they actually took a calmer approach to Deltarune, which I do respect. Thus, we have had a lot of theories that have been quite game theory-like. Deltarune chapter 3 and 4 sucks. Okay.
Oh, this person is like the ultimate like person gets angry over basically nothing guy. I've heard people talking about this guy and
loss for words. The new
I'm
Deltarune
so
chapters were
interested.
such a mess. I'm still struggling to process them. So I'm just going to copy the same shitty format I used last time. So, Chapter 3 starts how everyone expected, with you waking up in the Dark World. Ralsei appears out of nowhere again, which still isn't explained, and tells us what we already figured out about the Dark World in Chapter 1. It goes into a bit more detail, actually explaining what the Dark World is, and it's used for the sake of developing the characters, so it's fine, I guess. Then this moment of characters actually being interesting is interrupted by... As a character, he's fine, I guess. He's nowhere near as funny as Queen, relying far more on quirky meme humor than anything actually clever. But he does have the occasional good line. Him having a connection to Chris creates an interesting dichotomy, but it isn't given any attention outside of a flashback before his boss fight. Get used to those.
Did he not read, like, Hannah's entire
Yeah.
breakdown? Where he mentions he knew that Chris's parents fucking fought? What? Huh?
yeah, get used to this. You have 40 minutes of this.
Okay, so, bitch, I'm gonna prove it wrong in, like, a couple of seconds. Hannah's meltdown goes into him having several times where he has been conscious, quote-unquote, knowing that fucking Chris's parents fight. And he doesn't like it. And parroting probably Chris's feelings. There are several times throughout the quizzes where he asks Chris personal questions. They have a deeper connection than Chris has to Queen, to King. Ted is the first fucking character that actually has a fucking personal connection to Chris.
By the way, I actually don't mind the clashing art style of his sprites, but it's definitely used as a crutch. A lot of his jokes rely on him looking random and quirky instead of actually being cleverly written like Queen was. If his sprites had stuck to the normal art style, I think it would have looked better, but I don't mind it that much. His character development is... he misses being watched by Chris, his family, and friends on the holidays like he used to be.
Holy fuck. No. It's him realizing that being a Darkner doesn't... Like, he has a reflective journey like Ralsei, where the two realize that they don't need the Darkners for them to be themselves. Like, it's hard to explain, and so explainer.
I don't know where you're I'd love to. I don't know where you're going with this.
Ralsei's scene with Tenna, where he talks about, like, it's okay, I know how you feel, them having, like, similar feelings about being Darkners, because they're scared that once people forget them, they won't have any purpose. They're both scared of their purpose being only to satisfy and be there for the Lightners. And though I do not agree that Tenna was used to introduce the Knight, by the Knight killing Tenna, in my opinion, to be honest, but I feel like Tenna could have been a more interesting... I don't know, I don't like that he was just killed by the Knight, but that's just my thoughts.
So Susie promises
You
to give
can,
him to someone else.
if
He
you get,
gets
like, all the
freed by
recruits, you
the
actually
Knight at
can
the end, which is
save
incredibly
Tenna
shocking
and, like, take
actually
him
made
to,
me
like...
somewhat care about him. But he
You
gets
can, like, give the
revived
TV
off
away.
screen, so
Yeah.
any emotional impact that could have had is now gone. If this character
Okay, I
is supposed
kinda
to be
understand that.
threatening, you shouldn't fucking do that. The one thing he does better than Queen is being established as an actual threat. He traps you in capsules and shocks you repeatedly. That cutscene is incredibly drawn out and boring though, so half points. There's
Okay,
a
I
bunch
do
of
agree with him there, that Tenna's meltdown is kinda drawn out. I did
Yeah.
not enjoy it by the end, and when I played it the second time, I got frustrated, because I understand him having a meltdown, and I love that part, but it kind of draws out a bit longer than I would like it to. But that's just my opinion on that.
stuff set up about him that's completely forgotten. He's constantly talking to someone off camera that we never get to see. His antennas
Mike.
go off, causing him to leave for some kind of emergency that never gets explained. He mentions Mike repeatedly, and he has a deep history with Spampton. These are all incredibly interesting details that should have been the main focus of his character, but nope, they're completely ignored. This was his chapter. How are we not exploring this stuff now? I want to apologize for ever calling Queen a bad villain. At least she was interesting and memorable. Everything that could have made Tenna a more unique or interesting character is just shafted for his hilarious antics that fall completely flat. The animated text is why this game is 600 megabytes, by the way. Every single frame is stored as its own unique sprite. Good job, guys. I'm pretty sure everyone expected Chapter 3 to take place in a TV-themed world and not an actual TV show. Probably because a TV-themed world would actually lead to interesting locations, unique characters, and a feeling of exploration. Imagine getting to explore a Western-themed town, followed up by a horror-themed mansion, ending with a fight against a city-destroying monster. Well, too bad that's not what we got after 4 years of development. It just being a TV show makes the entire chapter into a compilation of Mettaton's greatest hits, except not funny. That's why it's periodically interspersed with... I think Toby forgot that when I play Deltarune, it's because I want to play Deltarune. Not some half-assed minigame where you catch and throw food. Not a shitty ripoff of Zelda without any of the interesting items, level design, or progression. And definitely not a rhythm game with only 2 buttons. I hope you love these minigames because they're absolutely the reason these 2 chapters took 4 years to release. I also hope you love these minigames because they take up 2 hours of the chapter's runtime.
Does he just have no joy in life, or...
Yeah,
What?
pretty much.
Well...
I also hope you love these minigames because if you suck at them, you're permanently locked out of getting key items. Now for
Key item, huh? What key items is he talking about?
Good question.
There's no key items. The only thing you get if you get an S rank, you can replay the
You are given like rewards from the person at the counter.
Oh yeah. But those are not necessary to progress the story. None of it is necessary. You can replay parts of it if you want to explore what you get, but it's not necessary for the fucking story. Key items. Shadow Mantle is the only thing that I can think of, which is useful. Still great.
Unfortunately, I'm an epic gamer, so I got an S rank and a T rank respectively on each of the boards.
Yeah,
but
sure.
that doesn't
Okay.
mean content should be arbitrarily locked behind how well you do at a minigame. A minigame that doesn't use any of the skill and knowledge you've obtained playing Deltarune, and especially when failing them permanently locks you out of 100% completion with no way to try again except completely restarting the game, which I'd rather die than play through Chapter 3 again. Toby, it isn't 1997 anymore. You don't have to pad out your game with a bunch of mini-games for it to feel worth.
Are you really going to watch this entire video?
Yes. Yes, I am.
The price.
Oh my
You can just lower the cost down from $25 motherfucking dollars. These guys were fucking shafted, which is such a massive disappointment because their designs are actually really damn good. I expected them to have their own segment culminating in a mid-boss, with how much they were focused on. But nope, they're just thrown into the first minigame board, completely unrelated to the setting or anything that's happening. They're just there for the sake of being there. Their boss fight sucks. They only have one attack pattern until one of them gets bigger. Then it's still basically the same attack pattern. The goal doesn't actually have anything to do with them. You just have to say I love TV a couple times before Tenna gets bored. It's such a massive disappointment, and they don't even have an original boss theme. I probably feel so disappointed by this because there was such a great fan song made for them called Whether or Not that you're listening to right now. I'll put a link in the description this time. Probably. Their dialogue is at least really cute. I actually enjoyed talking to them and getting them back together. Ram is also a character established to have known Chris, but unlike Tenna, it's actually the forefront of his character, making him far more compelling. He has a bunch of unique interactions with Chris, and they're all really fascinating, and ominous. His segment also continues the themes of freedom established in chapters 1 and 2, which is great. Him being an extension cord taken from the library when Chris was younger is actually really smart too. It was pretty impactful when I found him half turned to stone at the end, still just wishing to give Chris what he wants. He's the most compelling character.
Giving Chris what? Giving Chris what?
Turned to stone at the end, still just wishing to give Chris what he wants.
What, who wants? Did he just misgender Chris? Or am I being a dumbass?
I think so.
He's the most compelling character.
You're really
of the
going to
chapter,
watch
and
all
at
of
the end
this.
he just disappears. I expected him to be a secret boss somewhere, but fuck you, there isn't one. That's right, there's no secret boss this chapter. Get fucked, retard.
Okay, so he just throws out the R word. Okay, cool.
This
Lovely.
segment is very cool at first, with you going around and killing everyone to become strong enough to break obstacles. Discovering the Ice Palace spoken of in the ARG was really neat, but it's extremely disappointing such a unique setting that had so much build-up was used for what is in reality a really mediocre minigame. Killing the 8-bit renditions of Susie and Ralsei with the sword and seeing Chris flinch was a really cool moment. The parallels to Snowgrave are a really cool revelation, especially when you freeze the blue bird, but they're just parallels. Nothing you do in this minigame is plot significant or offers any new information. It's just a recap of everything you've already done with a unique presentation, and once you realize that, it just becomes boring. The boss at the end is just alright. A lot of the attacks can be pretty luck-based depending on where they spawn though, and whatever calculation is used to spawn healing items is a complete mess. I think they only spawn if you're under half HP, but that just means people who are playing worse will be healed more, which feels wrong. You should be rewarded for playing well, not punished. For some reason it uses the yellow and pink-eyed cat for an attack, which I assumed would be an important character, but Toby basically admitted it means nothing. When you make the 8-bit Chris walk out of the screen and attack the real Chris, it's a really cool moment that almost made all of the boring gameplay feel worth it. But then the 8-bit Chris walks off and doesn't show up again. To summarize, it's neat the first time, but in retrospect, it's an uninteresting minigame that offers nothing new of value. Let's give it up for day 3 of non-stop escape sequences. That's right, when I heard they were removing sneaking, I didn't think we'd end up getting this again. And oh boy, is it really, really uninteresting this time. This entire segment is just a far worse version of Pandora's Palace in every way, especially the music. At least Pandora's Palace was an upgrade in terms of gameplay compared to Chapter 1's castle. Here it's a massive downgrade. In Pandora's Palace, all of the obstacles were designed to constantly keep you moving as to not harm the pacing. In Chapter 3, you are constantly halted by shallow minigames and quizzes with some of the most uninteresting questions possible.
I do kind of agree with this statement of the quizzes. This was the part that I did like the least of Chapter 3. The quizzes every single time in between the phases of other minigames. I do kind of agree with that, but I don't know.
Over and over. Oh wait, my game crashed. Now I have to do it all over again. And over and over and over. What letter does a banana end with?
Excuse me for 1 second. Of course.
Also, this chapter only has 4 new enemies, which is pathetic. During a really unfunny scene with Tenna, where it's revealed he was hiding Pippus in a closet, Spamton comes back to life to undo all of the emotional weight of his arc in Chapter 2. Why, Toby? Why? Stop beating this poor man's existence into the ground. The reason everyone liked him in Chapter 2 was because he had a tragic backstory, not because he was a silly little gremlin. It's not like this scene is used to expand Tenna's character either, unfortunately. It's only used as a shitty joke. When it was established in Chapter 2 that the Darkeners from other fountains would turn to stone, I assumed that was an explanation for why they wouldn't appear in future chapters. After all, we should be focusing on new characters in future chapters, not reusing old ones and the same old jokes. But in Chapter 3, all of that is completely thrown out the window. Rules and Lancer appear repeatedly without turning into stone at all. This might be the worst part of the chapter. The writers just don't give a fuck anymore. So much for coming up with new characters and funny bits. Let's just reuse Lancer and Rules card. He's even less funny than the last time by some miracle, and he decides to take down the weather guys with him. His gimmick fight this time is also far worse, just being a timing minigame that relies far more on its unique presentation than mechanical depth. Toby, for the love of God, just kill this fucker. I don't know how we went from such a great boss fight against Queen to this. Tenna is the exact opposite of everything I praised the Queen fight for. It repeatedly halts the gameplay by making you play minigames instead of dodging regular attacks. He only has 2 regular attacks. Compare that to the King and Queen, who had a new variation on their bullet patterns every turn. There's no unique route if you decide to attack him either. While he does show up broken at the start of Chapter 4, during Chapter 3 there aren't any differences. That just makes it very jarring. His boss theme is also surprisingly forgettable. I don't feel like going out of my way to listen to it again, which is insane for a Toby Fox song. Unlike Queen's boss theme, it doesn't have a clever mix of different leitmotifs, and feels very out of place as a result. At least you don't summon a giant robot with the power of friendship. For some reason, instead of naturally having characters' backstories be revealed throughout the course of the game, Toby decided on multiple occasions to stop the game and make you listen to characters exposit their backstories straight to you without any room for interpretation. These segments are handled with all of the maturity and depth of a 90s Saturday morning cartoon, something that will be established as a common trend moving forward. This is how Tenna's backstory gets revealed, and how Susie's backstory is unfortunately permanently rewritten. Why?
You complain that they don't have depth, then get angry when they are given depth.
Yep.
Okay.
I do it like this? Well, incompetence, probably. When you met Noelle in Chapter 2, she didn't stop and go, "I remember Chris from when I was a kid. We rode in a Ferris wheel once, and he shook it up
They
the top.
did! The
He
December
was always
puzzle!
a prankster." No, she brought it up naturally during a normal conversation like a human being. I hate what Susie's new backstory does to her character. It's revealed that she was always the scary girl, the bad kid, which either implies she was always a bully and a rebel, which would contradict everyone saying she was just putting up a facade, or that her appearance made everyone afraid of her and bully her, which seems very unlikely. And then it's revealed that her family was constantly moving, so she never got to keep her friends. Great, who gives a fuck? What does that change.
God,
Then any
okay.
of the possible depth her character had is removed when it's revealed the only reason she likes Toriel is because she brought her to a diner as a kid when she was crying. I assumed it was because her own parents were negligent, so she hated Chris and wished Toriel, who was a far better mother, was her mom. But I guess not. This is the kind of backstory I'd expect from a kid's cartoon, not the sequel to Undertale. This one flashback managed to kill all of the depth and mystery of her character in under a minute. In Chapter 1, Susie was introduced as an outcast on the margin. She was
She
near
still
getting
is.
expelled and about to snap and kill you to get it all over with. There was a reason even Alphys feared her in Chapter 1. She clearly had some kind of deep trauma or abuse that led to her behavior, and by the end you got her warmed up enough to actually start caring about you to an extent. She was still far more
Protected.
you got her warmed up enough to actually start caring
Yep.
about you to an extent. She
Okay.
was still far more calm and
Okay.
reserved compared to how she appears in Chapter 2. That was an incredibly interesting character. I would have loved to see how that Susie got developed. But unfortunately, in Chapter 2, it removed all of that to make her a cool rebel girl that literally everyone falls in love with. And unfortunately, Chapter 3
I'm gonna pray to Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Okay.
makes all of those changes permanent, rewriting her character to be this rated PG tomboy with a super duper sad backstory where she cried. And then Chapter 4 continues building off of that instead of her original character. Even if somehow none of that was the intention, Toby should have rolled with it because it's far more interesting. Because now Susie is learning lessons like how to deal with the death of someone you know like it's fucking Sesame Street.
My good fellow friend.
I'm enjoying this.
My brother in Christ. You complained about depth. When you were given said depth, you complained about that. What do you want? What do you fucking want? Susie is a complex character. She was given trauma from moving around, not having a stable fucking place, not having stable friends, being seen as someone who was scary, therefore acting scary because she didn't fucking have any friends. Straight. Okay, go.
I think it's just clear Toby
okay.
can't write for shit anymore, and everyone
I would love to see you write a good game. I would love to. You come. Yeah. Just write a good game. You think you can do it better? Then fucking do it. Because I don't see you fucking earning $25 of a fucking game.
will defend it under the guise of it building up to some kind of genius meta-narrative twist. A lot of my interpretation could be in part due to her terrible new face sprites that make her look like an excessively goofy Undyne, which I guess makes sense because that's basically what her character is now that she's dating Noelle. I can at least
Good lord.
at least say they've settled on a consistent character for her, and because of that she does have a couple good moments in Chapter 4. It's not really bad, it's just a massive amount of missed potential. After Noelle was introduced as a party member in Chapter 2, everyone was expecting Chapters 3 and 4 to do something similar. It only made sense after all. Everyone enjoyed Noelle so much in Chapter 2. Why wouldn't they try to do the same thing for Chapter 3 and 4 for the other characters? Toriel was the most realistic candidate, probably being a mage that could cast fire magic, maybe even manipulating her by purposefully hurting Chris. But no, throughout the entirety of Chapter 3, she's asleep in a capsule, and it's made apparent she shouldn't wake up at any cost. Why? I don't know, it's never explained. Yet another missed opportunity because Mr. Fox was too busy programming in a fight against a water cooler. I'm not saying she had to be a party member, but she should have been given some actual attention as a character. Also, why is the final area a snowy tundra? That doesn't make any sense.
Does he not get okay.
I wish I was exploring that instead of playing a bunch of minigames.
Yeah, okay.
What? What?
Yeah.
This is the night? Oh. This fight is easily the only thing I actually enjoyed from either of the new chapters. His reveal was incredible, with him announcing his presence by what should have been killing Tenna. The idea of an impossible fight that you can actually win through determination is perfect. Though it does have an inherent flaw. Isn't it ironic that going out of your way to have a more difficult experience by beating the knight ends up making the game easier through its reward? That's just a thought I had. I'm kind of disappointed the knight doesn't speak and comes off as a mindless creature. It would have been far more interesting if it had some dialogue. A missed opportunity for sure. But it's clear the knight is actually a character, it just can't speak. The music is quite good, it's the only new addition to the OST that I actually remember fondly. The fight is incredibly good. It might actually be my favorite in the game now. The presentation is perfect, and all of the attacks look and feel powerful, and visually impressive. Two of the attacks aren't as well designed though. The attack where you have to weave between swords on the top and bottom isn't visually clear enough. It looks like a blur, making it hard to predict where to go. 60 FPS definitely would have helped with that. And the attack where he splits the box in half is incredibly cool looking and a fun attack, but it's also incredibly buggy. There were times where I'd get stuck in the center of the box and take damage for what felt like no fault of my own. And when he begins splitting the box diagonally, it feels like your soul doesn't move fast enough to dodge any of the bullets. Also, it isn't clear at all that Rude Buster is basically mandatory with how much extra damage it deals for no reason. I still really enjoy it from a gameplay and story perspective though. However, being able to easily hold your own against the knight...
I don't know why the knight is called he. I thought the knight would know their pronouns. Yeah, this guy calls Chris he, so I don't think he knows what pronouns are.
does definitely
What's a
hurt the
pronoun?
stakes. We could have easily beaten him here if it didn't end with a cutscene. Going from Spamton, who was absurdly easy even during Snowgrave, to what is basically a shorter but more unforgiving Sans fight will definitely give some people whiplash though. And I can't say they're exactly wrong. I love how it's a straight up fight to the death. He's not a character you're going to have a conversation with. He is the enemy, pure and simple. It's incredibly impactful after Undertale, and it would have been even more impactful if this was the first time the Mercy Bar was crossed out. But it was already used during the joke fight against Queen, so it doesn't have the same impact at all. I do truly love the fight though, I want to make that clear. All of the people who said 60 FPS wasn't necessary look extra retarded now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Try not to lose your composure.
Very. Very.
Ralsei can turn into a marketable plushie at will, and honestly that might be even worse than the giant robot. At that point just turn into a gun and shoot him. Also it breaks my immersion, is an unfunny meme, and comes off as shitty advertising in a game that already costs $25.
Oh my god,
This
$25,
entire
that is
chapter
so
can be summed
much.
up as a waste of my time, your time, and development time. This chapter barely progressed the main plot, even though the last chapter barely progressed the main plot. However, at least the ending this time advanced the story forward by introducing a main goal for the group. Chapter 4 is the closest to Chapter 1 tonally, but the writing is far worse than Chapter 2's. It starts with you waking up and going to church, something we all knew would happen. Unfortunately, Susie isn't forced to wear a dress. That would have been funny. I'm rather disappointed the car ride is skipped over again. With Susie coming along, you'd think it would have been the perfect time for some dialogue. The church segment is great. The bond between Chris and Susie feels truly believable with all of the dumb shenanigans they get up to, and it's an absolute joy to watch. The dialogue from the other attendees is also very enjoyable. Some of the jokes during the beginning actually got me to laugh too, unlike Chapter 3. The comedic timing when you drink Alfie's favorite fruit juice is comedic perfection. Where was this kind of writing in Chapter 3? And also later, but we'll get into that. The gang decides to go to Noelle's place to look for clues. The music here is actually kind of grating, I don't like it at all. Susie distracts Noelle as you enter Dessa's room and take a peek at her guitar when... I do enjoy the more antagonistic relationship between the player and Chris in Chapter 4. It's very entertaining, but it's jarring to go from him only ever taking out the soul.
Him,
Him.
him,
Him.
him, him. What did you say? Can I just hear that again?
In Chapter 4. It's very entertaining, but it's jarring to go from him only ever
Him? Yeah, okay.
taking
Okay.
out the soul.
I
at
gotta
night
ask,
for
why
short
did you
periods of
like this
time to him
video?
treating you as completely expendable. The way he moved and acted without the soul in
Him?
Chapter 1.
Him? What do you say?
I'm treating you as completely expendable. The way he moved and acted without the soul in Chapter 1 and 2 made it seem like he wasn't able to survive or function without it in him. But in Chapter 4, he's running around, playing the piano, making chocolate milk, and talking to Noelle. It's all incredibly interesting to see, but it doesn't feel built up enough. Getting to interact with everything as the soul is incredibly cool. This is the kind of progression of the idea I expected. Although going from trapped in a cage to complete free roam definitely makes it feel like something was missing in between. It's revealed Chris is in cahoots with someone on his smartphone. What the fuck? This game seemingly took place in the early 2000s. What the hell changed? The culture and possessions of the characters seem to clearly imply it was an early 2000s aesthetic, which made sense since Toby's a millennial who worked on Homestuck. Well, hopefully that's the extent of it and there aren't any other references to modern... Oh my god. This gave me so much whiplash that my spine was severed in 3 places and I was left paralyzed in my chair for the better part of an hour. My immersion is more shattered than Gaster across time and space. This should be unacceptable for any game that wants to take itself even remotely seriously. Ever. Who the fuck let this into the final product? Toby, who the hell are your
fuck let you have a YouTube
playtesters?
channel?
Who proofreads your script? For the love of God, shoot them. Messing with Noelle and Susie in the basement was quite fun. Their reactions are pretty entertaining. Although it was a massive missed opportunity to not have a possible game over where Noelle hits you with a cookie pan. That would have been funny. Chris chucking a hockey puck at you when you get close to Dessa's guitar was not something I was expecting and I really liked it. I enjoyed the detail of it reducing your HP too. Noelle and Susie basically dating is still annoying and absurd that it formed
Annoying.
Okay.
in 2 days, but at least it clearly isn't an abusive relationship like it could be interpreted in Chapter 2. The dialogue also feels a lot more authentic this time, and it at least has one funny line of dialogue. So I'd say it was tolerable. Chris calls Noelle's mom to come home early, and what the fuck is that thing? This design sucks. The blue looks terrible and clashes with the rest of her colors. It's clearly meant to be like Noelle's red nose, but that actually had contrast to make it pop out. She's unusually short, and yet her sprite looks strangely elongated. Her color palette is completely detached from Noelle's, unlike Rudy's, which makes it hard to believe there's any relation here. And her animations are unusually stiff, which is probably meant to exaggerate how stern she is, but it just looks unbelievably off. Fan concepts were a lot better, and looked more in line with Noelle and Rudy's design. Her face sprites are great though. They do a much better job conveying her character. No idea why there's one with blood on her face in the files though. She's actually really intimidating, which is cool, if you ignore her design. And her relationship with Chris is incredibly intriguing. Not like that. A plot point being set up that'll be explored in future chapters. Crazy! It's almost like I'm experiencing a story right now. Well, that was neat. I wonder how evil alternate universe me is doing. Well, that fucking sucked. On the way to Noelle's house, you can find Birdley in the hospital, which is a great shocking detail until you realize it's made clear he's still alive. Are you fucking kidding me? Then what was even the point of anything that happened last time? Getting to see the world change from Birdley's death was what I was the most excited to see. But Toby decided to pussy out and make it so he just has a really bad brain freeze. This is an insult to the player, the game's subject matter, and Birdley as a character. What made his fight so impactful was how he sacrificed his life because he truly does care about Noelle. But now that's just retconned. There's a segment in the normal route where Birdley calls Noelle, and I was expecting that during the Snowgrave route it would be Birdley's mom asking where the hell her son is. But nope. The only thing that changes is Noelle decides to have a conversation alone with Chris. What's with the clearly evident sexual tension? That's never brought.
What? So true. So true.
Excuse me, my dude, they're minors. And also, what? What? Okay, yeah.
Brought
Okay,
up
cool.
again. What the fuck was that? Snowgrave went from subtle manipulation with incredibly dark undertones to being the most cartoonishly evil thing I've ever seen. That loses everything that made it so compelling in the first place. Now it's just gone full shitty creepypasta and it's become completely incoherent as a result. What made Snowgrave so intriguing was how subtle it was, not whatever the hell happens here. This just ruins everything that made Snowgrave so intriguing in the first place. How am I supposed to take any of this seriously when it looks like this? Apparently in the first patch, this scene was censored, which is unironically the funniest fucking thing to come out of the new chapters. Did no one in the team make the correlation? I'm surprised it was even left in. Ironically, I didn't even interpret it as Noelle literally getting deflowered until it was removed. But honestly, I can't even blame people for believing that. As fucked up as it is, Noelle getting assaulted results in a far more coherent and narratively satisfying story. Using Chris to assault Noelle is incredibly fucked up, but works as a natural breaking point for him. It also
No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. No, that's my end. That's where I ended. Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, so he did actually. Okay, I don't believe Noelle should have been essayed. Good, because that's fucked up. Roser Imre should have been kept in because it's far more shocking and appalling. Not much as the backstory isn't what I expected. I'm disappointed it wasn't something more mature. Or when talking about the sacred balls and having themes established. Take back what I said about the knight. Is there... There's nothing about him misgendering Chris at all. Yeah. Uh-huh. Him. Okay. Bills cannot be high. Holy fuck.
You can see the comments clouding on this guy.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I hope this guy never makes another video.
He made a video for chapter 1 and chapter 2, and it is... yeah.
Honestly, fuck this guy. I would not be this. I hope this guy doesn't. He has 2K subscribers. It's disgusting. Holy fuck, bro. That is sad. That is actually really sad. Whatever. Okay, chat. I think that's gonna be it because I have some shit I need to do with my family, because... But I will try and upload the animation today, if I can. And if you... Don't harass this guy. Just fucking block and move on. He's clearly trying to rage bait. And it's kind of sad that people are, you know, subscribing to someone who is homophobic. It's sad. But I guess I won't take back fun. No, it's okay, it's okay. I'm about to end. I do hope you guys had a good time today. And we didn't get to clown on the idiot, so that was kind of worth it.
Always.
Anything you want to say before we end?
Blink them.
So true. Bye-bye.